Smriti-Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Logashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhatarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरु परम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारो अन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्या आचार्याय नचिकेतसे नमः। We are going through the Kaṭha Upaniṣad, first chapter, second section, 23rd shloka. After that, we finished already the 23rd shloka. Today we are going to see the 24th shloka. So, I will read the shlokan and I will give the connection with the previous shlokan, and we will see the meaning according to the Shankara's commentary based on this verse. Na avirato duscharitat, na ashantaha na asamahitaha, na ashanta manasaha vapi, prajnaneva enam apnuyat. Once more I will read. Na avirataha duscharitat, na ashantaha na asamahitaha, na ashanta manasaha vapi, prajnanena evam apnuyat. Elaborately, we saw the previous verse, which is giving the proper fact when we compare with the person who are considered as the intellectual personality in this world, even though they may miss the self which is immortal and eternal. We saw elaborately the previous shlokan. Material science or the worldly facts, many of our people may be brilliant or capable of analyzing the various facts of the creation. And they may be in the first place in that particular science. But that doesn't mean that they are the knowers of the self. They have reached the human goal. This was the intention of the previous shloka. So, the qualifications they have acquired or accomplished in this material world, those people will be capable of analyzing different facts in the creation. They may be brilliant to present a topic which is a part of the creation. Everything will be perfect regarding to that subject matter, but that doesn't mean that they have reached the human goal. That is what the intention of the previous slogan. That is why when you enter into an institution in order to study Vedanta, Sanskrit, or any Vedic chantings, etc., which are the syllabus of a traditional teaching, they may not consider your academical qualifications. They just want to know whether you can understand the language which they are teaching. It may be in English or it may be the local language, whatever it may be. They don't consider you are a first rank holder in your subject matter. It's not their criterion. That is not the measuring scale that this person will be capable of understanding the self. That is, moksha is not connected with any academical qualification of the creation. You may be brilliant, you may be capable of analyzing the subject matters of the creation, you may be a PhD holder, you may be a degree holder, you may be a proper engineer, whatever it may be, it's all belong to the realm of creation. This subject matter, which we call self, Atmajnanam, the knowledge regarding the self, is not connected with the data or the qualifications which you have earned from this creation or from the material world. That is what the intention of the previous slogan. The person who choose to live knowing this self, the person whose priority is to understand the self and to be freed from the life of death and birth cycle, that person will be blessed by the knowledge of the self or by the Shastra. We have studied thoroughly. Last two classes were talking about that verse. Now we will enter into this verse which I have read now. I will read the first line and I will give the meaning. Na avirataha duscharitat. This is the first meaning. The first line. The meaning of this line is duscharitam, natural instincts. As a human being, when I was born in this world, I have a character which the data collected from my parents, from which the data collected from the society, the people around me, all these things make me to mold a particular character, what we called natural instinct. In this case, a human being will not be aware of what is right and what is wrong. For example, if you are born in a family where meat is a prime diet in their life, I'm giving an example. I'm not intended to talk about anybody who are eating meat or whatever it may be. This example will be very much suitable for this particular slogan. Almost everywhere in the world, meat is recognized as a natural diet right now, which Vedas or the traditional teachers won't accept because they believe in non-hurting and least disturbance towards the world and people and animals. So I will come to the point now. Suppose we are born in a family where meat is enjoyed in as their daily food, We don't know how the meat is made of. Meat is an product, it is a product of extreme cruelty. I always used to say this sentence. Without killing, without asking a permission of a living being, you have to kill to get one piece of meat. So, lot of violence and hurting are involved in getting one piece of meat. If you can think beyond the nose, the meat which come in front of us, one needs to think how it is made. So violence is involved, hurting is involved, humiliation is involved, lots of unprecedented activities are involved in getting one piece of meat. Of course, crime itself. Keep it away. Suppose we are in a family where meat is being eaten daily in our daily life. We don't know it is right or wrong. We just follow what our parents provide. Because most of the people in the society enjoy meat in their daily life. Regardless of religion, regardless of country, each and wherever you go, you will get this meat. It may be from a cattle, it may be from a bird, it may be from some species which are being from ocean, whatever it may be. So our natural instinct being molded from our parents or being from the society or from the people around me without thinking whether it is right or wrong. As a human being, I need not to think like an Isaac Newton in eating a piece of meat in my daily life as an ordinary person, because my father and my mother used to take what is good for their health. The same thing is provided for me to sustain my health. So I need not to think a lot about this piece of meat which is right in front of me. The point is, without having discrimination about what is right and what is wrong in the life, there is no understanding or there is no recognition of the self. Because discrimination is a prerequisite in the pursuit of the knowledge of self. So this whole verse is going to talk about the importance of the prerequisites, which is to be earned or accomplished by a spiritual aspirant. The whole intention of this verse is nothing that one need to accomplish, deliberately put effort in order to get all the prerequisites, the preparatory steps to clinch the deal to the goal which is called the knowledge of the self. This is the intention. Keep in the mind. Prerequisites are very much essential as the part of the knowledge of self. Without the prerequisites, without any preparation, if you study the knowledge of the self, it may not completely do the job in one's life. This is the intention of this verse. Keeping this in the mind, we see the meaning of the entire verse. Now we are in the first line of the verse. Na avirataha dushcharita. Really speaking, dushcharitam means in Sanskrit a evil deed. Dushcharitam, a person's bad conduct due to the natural instinct. Because majority of the people are involved in a particular action, but from the standpoint of morality, ethics, or the virtue and vice position, that action may be wrong. Majority will not reveal the reality. Because majority of the people are doing this action, it doesn't mean that it is a real thing to be done by each and every person. So don't go along with the majority. So one of the prerequisites which is told before entering to the knowledge of self is discrimination. Nitya anitya vastu vivekaha. Knowing what is right and what is wrong. The faculty to see the difference between the right and the wrong. Whether it in terms of action, whether in terms of food, whether in terms of thinking, everywhere you have this faculty. I go along with the right in my life. A bold stand. So this sentence says that for the person who are not interested to withdraw the senses from the bad contact or from the evil deeds, which are the products of natural instinct. I just copied from the society a conduct which I copied from the subordinates, a conduct which I copied from my relatives, a conduct which I copied from my parents. I need to rethink whether this action is right or wrong. Like the example which I already given to you. Once your faculty of discrimination is activated, you will be always concerned about non-hurting of anybody in this world. It may be an animal, it may be a person, it may be anything. You believe in non-hurting because it's a commonly sensed idea. Samanya jnanam eva ahimsa. It is not that to be taught by a tutor, because what I don't impose in my life, what I don't choose in my life, I will not impose on others. Simple. How I can know which are ethics, which are moral? It's a very simple way. which I don't choose in my life, I don't impose on others. I don't choose to get hurt by anybody, so I don't impose on hurting others. If I don't choose in my life, I will not do for others also. Very simple to know which is ethic, which is a moral life, which are values. So, a person who is a spiritual aspirant, a spiritual seeker, but this person is not prepared himself or herself in order to receive the knowledge of the self, then he may be under a traditional teacher, and the traditional teacher can be the most and best teacher in the world. Still, he may miss the real thing. He may miss the fact about the self. The teaching will be futile. It will not work. It may not work for the person as long as he don't prepare or she don't prepare herself with the prerequisites. The meaning of the line is this: Na avirataha dushcharitat. It means if a person don't withdraw from the evil deeds, then that person will not be able to see the self, which is the truth of each and every living being. Because of the lacking of the prerequisites. One is discrimination. Nitya nitya vastu viveka. Seeing what is right and what is wrong while living in this world and conforming your lifestyle towards what is right. I may have the pressure to do what is wrong because it makes me happy. But one needs to work on that with the help of the advice of the traditional teachers. One needs to come out of the pressures which are wrong in one's life. Because most of the people get involved in worldly activities which are absolutely wrong, which are evil deeds. Still, they will get involved because immediate results are assured. That's the only thing. Immediately, some results you will get because happiness, material happiness, immediately you will get. That is why, even though the action is wrong, they used to do in their daily life. Here, they miss one fact that how much loss they are having by doing one evil action. They don't have any idea. They can go through different life forms which are very, very, very inferior compared to human being due to one evil action. Suppose cheating somebody, taking advantage of a person, telling a lie, stealing something from a person, any evil action, you may get the immediate results, but you are unaware of the loss which will be coming in your coming days. It can take to a life which is very inferior because each and every action will bring a respective results which may be unsuitable, unfit for your human life, which will be rewarding sorrow or unhappiness in your life. So, if a person comes to know that what loss I will have by doing an inappropriate action, if the person come to know that, that person will withdraw his attitude to do an evil action. Withdraw the senses, I mean. We are going to see the whole verse, but the intention of the whole verse is that a person should be equipped with prerequisites while receiving the knowledge of Atman. Suppose I don't know anything about the prerequisites. Can you tell about the prerequisites? Of course. Each and every teaching of the knowledge of the self will start with the prerequisites to be earned properly by a sadhaka or a mumukshu or a spiritual seeker before listening to the Vedanta. Every traditional teacher will make the person ready by giving the knowledge of the prerequisites. So here, the first verse shows that discrimination is important, and also a person should withdraw the senses from the natural instinct, and the person should follow what is to be done and what is to be right. One should stick in the life with what is right. This is the intention of telling Lord Yama to Nachiketas. Na avirataha. Virataha means withdrawing, retiring from the dushcharitat, withdrawing the senses from the evil deeds. Due to pressure, we may do certain things. Really speaking, in this world, any object is not capable of attracting me or you. It's our pressure to enjoy something. Oh, this is beautiful. It's my attitude, my pressure. This man is so beautiful. This woman is so beautiful. This pressure is not from an object. It's my pressure. Nothing in this world which is something other than you are not capable of attracting you in this world. It's my pressure. Even alcohol, meat, tea, because we may be saying we are already addicted to all these things. How can we come out of this? That is why we have a special birth, human being. It has free will. What is free will? It can do a thing, it can withdraw from doing something, it can do in an opposite direction of an action, it can choose not to do anything. Kartum shakyam. You can do an action, you have that capacity. Akartum shakyam. You can completely take a decision not to do an action. Anyathava kartum shakyam. You can choose to do an action in a different direction. You can go by bus, you can go by walk, you can go by car, or you can decide not to go today. Similarly, no other living being in the world is equipped with free will. They are programmed and they will behave according to the natural instinct. Only human being is blessed with this free will. That is why we may be born in a family where lot of cruelty is involved. But knowing what is not to be done, we used to change in our life, correct? For example, drinking alcohol is not good for the health, also not good for the worldly living. A person will be unaware of what we are doing in the daily life once you take alcohol. That means Lord has given a beautiful tool called intellect or mind, and you just throw the intellect and mind by taking alcohol. The blessed mind or the blessed intellect will not be working. Just alcohol will lead your life. Once you take alcohol, once you consume alcohol, then alcohol will make you to do all the things like a doll. You will do whatever you think, because alcohol make the person completely absent-minded. We know that. But once you know what is right, once you have the capacity to think, I should live a life with a lot of values, ethical, moral life, then slowly I will change. It's not an overnight change. Slowly, slowly. 50,000 mistakes you may be committing in a year will come to 5,000 mistakes when you keep a value in your life. The next year, your mistakes will be only 5,000 in number. Again, in the coming year, it will become 500. Again, it will come to 0. Only by effort of oneself. It's very important. Without one's own effort, we are not going to make the moral life, or we are not going to cultivate the prerequisites. So here, the Lord that says that before coming to the knowledge of self, one should work upon prerequisites. The first is discrimination. Seeing what is right and what is wrong, or what is eternal, what is non-eternal, what is real, what is unreal. It is a systematic study under a traditional teacher of getting discrimination in our daily life. This is the first meaning of the first line. Cultivate the discrimination, and please may you withdraw your senses from the natural instincts or the behavior based upon or molded by the natural instinct. May you withdraw and keep a life in tune with the spiritual values. This is what he says. Then he says, na ashantaha. Ashantaha means a person who is restless. You know how a person becomes restless in one's life? As long as we are craving for the results of the action, what we have done in our life, we are restless. The actions, every action what we perform in the life will bring a respective result. And we are interested in that result. As a human being, I do any action in order to get a particular result. When a person is not aware about the rules and laws of the actions, that you can accept a particular result and you can do an action with total sincerity and total perfect, but the result may be not as you expected. Why? This is how the rules and laws of karma. The student who is going to write an exam tomorrow may be prepared the entire year. He may be working almost 18 hours daily for this preparation to write this exam. But the result may be not as he or she expected sometimes, So we become ashantaha because we are connected always with the results of the actions. So knowing the reality of the laws of karma, the laws of action, will make the person to be settled, to be calm, to be peace. When you do the action, whenever we perform an action, we perform the action with a proper attitude. By this action, may the Lord, which is all pervasive, bless me, get satisfied by my action. This should be the attitude, not the attitude of getting the expected results. When a person having this attitude that doing itself is the culmination of the action, not the result, then that person is always calm and serene. He is not ashantaha. He is not restless. Because once he has done the action, he just forget. The action, what he has done is proper, sincere, and perfect. But he's not interested what the result comes from the Lord. He's not interested at all. So he is completely rest. These type of people can only focus towards the knowledge of self. If you are restless, this class will be boring. There is no joke. There is no entertainment in Vedanta teaching. So you cannot expect a big crowd listening Vedanta. Ordinary people need some stupid jokes through a movie or some worldly enjoyment like singing, dancing, or some human relationships, which is the central theme of each and every movie, love and sex. These things are very much attractive for normal people. For them, Vedanta is a boring subject because there is no entertainment in Vedanta. We have only almost 7 people or 8 people in the class. We know that. Why? People are not completely prepared with oneself, or they are not completely calm or rest to listen them, even though it's a main topic or the goal in our life. It's very important. So Lord Death says that as a human being, or Nachiketas, people has to do different types of actions while living in this world. But one should be completely with an attitude that actions should be performed properly, but not keeping any kind of results already inside occupying in the mind. I should get this. That's why I'm doing this. That attitude one need to give up. Then you are free. You are completely rest. You do a thing properly. Then you can be free. Whether that action brought you a good result or a worst result, you are not at all worried about that. Then you are shantaha. You are free. Shantaha. So Lord Yama says that when a person is totally restless due to the expectations on the results of the action what he has done, that person is also that type of people are also not eligible to see the self within oneself. This is what his intention of this na ashanta. Now, the third word, the third word of the second word of the second line, na asamahitaha. Samahitam, put together, alignment. Mind and intellect should be in an alignment. You know, I want to wake up early in the morning at 5 o'clock. This is my convention of the intellect. But my mind says it's very cold, more 1 hour we will sleep. There is no alignment within mind and intellect. We often come through the failures. We often come we often get issues due to the non-alignment of the buddhi and intellect. The mind and the intellect should be always go together. We call them, when you get an information to the intellect, you pass to the mind, and the mind should be ready to the transformation according to the information you get. Most of the people keep as an information without having any transformation. We have studied in our earlier classes that don't tell lie to others. As a kid, I have listened from the teachers, but after a period of time only, I started to transform in my life. Similarly, lot of things we get as an information, but our mind is not at all ready to do according to the information what we got to our intellect. This alignment, when we are missing in our life, we behave something, we think something. Keeping one thing inside our mind, and we behave something other than what it is, what we have inside the mind. The alignment is not at all there. Put together, the intellect and the mind go together. What I want to do, I have already decided by the intellect. The mind is also ready to go along with that. Most of the people, when they come to class, you should go for a walk at least for 1 hour or 40 minutes daily in your life. Oh, Swamiji, I don't have any time. Morning, I have to go to job. Okay, you wake up a little bit early in your life so that you can go for a walk at least for 40 minutes. Yes, yes. They say to me. But in their daily life, they are not keeping this idea to put in practical. This is called non-alignment. When you give a word to somebody, you should work along with that. When you think something what is right, you should tell the mind to work according with that. So this is called alignment. When you don't have the alignment with the body, mind, and intellect in one single line, what you think that you execute in your life, the body is ready to do that. This is called an alignment. When you don't have the alignment, it's not very easy to win over this external world or this internal world. In your mind also, outside also, you cannot win. So Lord Yama says to Nachiketas, the first point was without discrimination regarding what you are doing, that prerequisite discrimination, if you don't have, you may miss Atma, the self. Second, he told, if you are restless, you may miss the whole teaching. If you are not put together within oneself, if you are not in alignment with your mind and intellect, that will also make you to miss the Atma. Today I have an engagement after this, so I will stop now. Next week we will continue with the continuation of this verse. Okay. Little bit earlier, but next week we will continue with the class. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobrahmanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Kshoparahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirpayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.